This conference will now be recorded.
No, I was looking at it like, what the heck?
It's exactly 6:30.
I'm gonna call the Richland City Council meeting of June 26, 2023 to order. All are present. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You got a light on your flagpole?
Yeah.
Do you? Okay,
It doesn't shine very good, but I got one.
okay. Well, that just.
Entertain a motion to approve.
I have one addition under new business, number 2, EDA grant for Bowlines.
Move to approve the agenda with additions.
Second.
Have a motion by Jody and a second by Janda to approve the agenda with the additions. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass. Motion to accept the consent agenda items.
I've got questions on the minutes as well as the check register.
Okay, you should take those off prior to approving the agenda, but they can go down to new business 3 and 4.
So 1 and 2.
Quick, yeah.
I move to approve the consent agenda with the changes.
Second.
Have a motion by Lauren and a second by Janda to approve consent agenda, the consent agenda items and move 1 and 2 down to new business. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass. Move down to the care center report.
All right. So the month of May, we had an average census of 34, 22 Medicaid residents, 9 private pays, which are completely flipped in comparison to last year. We only had 2 Medicare A residents and 1 managed care resident, private insurance. Referrals continue to come in. We're limiting admissions at this point to local people because our staffing levels are so low. We are looking for, as I put a plug in there, for looking for qualified people to work at the nursing home all the time. Certified nurse aides, nurses. We could really use some very good qualified caring people to come in and work with us. Some of the things that we're looking at is potential to offer different pay options, where in one option you would have pay and benefits, and another option you have pay in lieu of benefits, to possibly glean some of those people in the community that I don't need your health insurance, but I'd rather have the pay in my pocket, that kind of thing. We do have some people probably young enough that are working there that would rather have to pay in their pocket because they're on mom and dad's insurance. So those type of things we're kicking around. And as I discussed with the advisory board earlier, we're also looking into an international nurse program. It's months out before we could ever get anyone, but there are nurses around the world looking for jobs and that want to be American citizens. And with this program, they would be employed by us. And while they're here, they would work to gain their citizenship as well. So we have a contract for 2-3 years and consistent employment for them as well as health for us. So those are just a couple of options that we're looking at. Financially, we did okay in the month of May. Our numbers were down a little bit, of course, and care, the amount that we pay out to care is quite high. So we did have a small profit in the month of May. We broke even for sure, and maybe squeaked a little bit of a profit, not much. And some of the factors to that were, we were down in Medicare numbers, which were down in Medicare dollars, and all of the staffing that we had going on with agency staffing is extremely high in cost. In May, we celebrated May 4th, National Star Wars Day for all. May the 4th be with you. And we invited the emergency workers in New Richland to our care center for a barbecue. It was a busy season, planting season, and people probably just, that work outside, just getting back to work. So we didn't have too many takers, but our staff, our residents got to enjoy wonderful hamburgers and hot dogs from Neighbors Meats, where we bought them and bought all the food, and they had a great time. So we hope to do that again. We also celebrated National Nurses Week and National Nursing Home Week with theme days that encourage staff and residents to dress up and partake in the games and the food that was going on there that week. A lot of fun. We also have the one project that I've got solidified for the summer. We're going to get our parking lot redone, resurfaced and painted, lines painted, probably sometime in August. I asked to get that kind of pushed back. I don't see Eric here. I need to talk to Eric about, kind of getting around our driveway so that we can have one continuous flow of tar, concrete through that area so that we don't have all those washboard bumps.
Oh, the speed bumps?
Well, the speed bumps are fine. It's
Sometimes.
the reverse of the speed bumps, the potholes that we don't want to have there. We're trying to get rid of some of those.
They are putting a new culvert system in there, just so you're aware.
They are, okay, very good.
Hopefully this week or next week, by the sounds of it. So
Okay, great,
that should help some of that issue.
that'd be wonderful, that'd be wonderful. A couple more things, we did have Chuck Higley, who was our bus driver, retired after 6 years of working with us. Simply because his wife, Kathy, who had worked for us for 42 years, retired. No, Chuck finally threw in the towel and he said, I gotta retire, and Kathy follows it. Something like that. But we had a retirement party for Kathy on, two of them on Friday, one at the nursing home for residents and staff, and the other up here at City Hall for the community. He had a great time. Very appreciative. After our advisory board meeting, we are looking for approval by the city council for new members on our advisory board, Cheryl Pratt and Brian Verma. Brian was there tonight, and Cheryl expressed interest. We'd like the council's approval to, I guess, install them as members.
So move.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Lauren and a second by Jody to approve the 2 members for the advisory board for the care center. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Excellent, thank you. And if, just want to put a plug in for everybody that's listening and anybody that reads the report, we are looking for an activity director, a bus driver, and CNAs and nurses, always. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Need to approve it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Move to approve.
Second.
Have a
Support.
have a motion by Lauren and a second by Janda to accept the care center report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Move down to people services.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right, now I'm just gonna pass this around, just so you can see during the flood what happened at the plant. So it starts, the front page, you'll see the craziness, and then it just keeps going. So it just gives you a good idea of what happens out there.
I saw the amount of water going through in your report.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
yeah.
Yes, and we only used, in town, we only used 3.8 million gallons, and I had 17. So that is all extra water. So I have counted 150 houses. It's taken me like a week to do this, but I went through, counted all the homes that go to that one manhole on 30 and Broadway. 150 places go there. So we have to figure out a way to get that split up. I mean, if this has always happened to you guys,
Yeah, that's always been.
it's always the same spot. Well, there's 150 places going, trying to get to it. And everyone's still using water at the same time. So if it's always been that way, we have to figure out a way to try to get that either one street over, one street up. We have to figure out a way to corral that going. Instead of corralling it there, like, if we gotta get it stretched out. Otherwise, you guys are always gonna have this problem.
So you think that would help?
Oh, yes.
Was it a problem before they redid 30?
Trapper claims that it wasn't, and I don't know for sure, because I guess I didn't really pay attention
Right.
prior to that. So he said he never had the flooding problems that he does now since that happened. So
Right.
it
Wow.
30.
There is something, and I wasn't here then,
Oh.
but when I opened all the storm manholes on Broadway and 30, they had styrofoam in them, okay? That's the storms, not the sewer, it was the storm. Well, all of that styrofoam is now at my plant. So, and this is a month and a week after the flood.
Mhm.
I have styrofoam still coming in. So the storm was full of these little styrofoam balls. I don't know, I haven't found where they've actually come from. But between the storm must be broken and the sewer must be broken, because there's no reason for me to getting all of that styrofoam. So I'm having it cameraed and smoke tested the week of July 10th through the 14th. So we can figure out where it is broken. It's broken somewhere in there. But we have to find out before the rain continues, if it's gonna happen like this every year. You guys don't need, a sewer should only take sewer. It shouldn't be taken in storm. It's not made for that.
Mhm.
It's not made for that extra water whatsoever.
I think we did that area not till 4 or 5 years ago.
What, smoke testing? I don't remember smoke testing anything other than like my part of town.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
30 was
thinking.
done.
I want to say it wasn't too long ago.
It was a while.
I have the papers up. I should have.
Brian's photos on 30 perfect the last time we did it.
Sure.
Peoples came down and did it, and I don't know if MRA or MRWA must have done it too once.
They must have, but it could have been a different area of town.
And there was some houses on Broadway South that they had sump pumps hooked to the sewer.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
And I don't know if they ever got taken out or not. I'm not quite sure on that. But out of the 150 houses, all of the southeast side of town and up to the creek on Aspen, all of that goes right to Highway 30 and Broadway. So, and it just jam packs it tight.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's a way to, there's no sewer from 30 and Broadway up to First Street by the park there. There's no sewer main right there. But you'd have to go down by the school and then up or the next one up.
So you have to so we have to hire an engineer to figure that out? What to do? They look at
Well,
the,
you guys have an engineer, but I don't know if they've ever looked at it.
Well, I think the first thing is smoke testing and finding out
Mhm.
those,
Where it is.
yeah, where it's coming from. And then, depending on how bad that problem is, that could be a substantial fix.
I don't know if a lift station or if another relief sewer could be put in, or, there was some research done at 81. I can't think of the name of it. They came in and did a whole thing of your guys' town. And even in that, in 81, they had issues with that intersection. And a few others. But, so it has been an ongoing problem. But we just can't, you guys can't do that every 3 inches and, it's gonna flood, so. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm working on that.
Okay.
So, and then I called Waldorf Welding today to see if he can come out and make me a snail catcher.
yeah.
So to catch, I'm always gonna have the snails. Apparently I'm never gonna get rid of them. So I might as well catch them before they wreck the plant. And they are wrecking it, because I pulled out 1,500 gallons of them today. So, yeah, so they're wrecking it. They're wrecking the piping, they're wrecking the pumps, they're wrecking everything. So I figure, well, if we're gonna have them, we might as well be happy with them. But if I have this guy make me a grate with a screen inside this pit, where I can get them back out, at least we'll save the rest of the plant without, and it helps with all your labs and your effluent going out to the creek. But if we're always gonna have them, we might as well figure out how to get them before they go through the plant, so.
Are you aware of anyone else who's having this problem?
There are some people that do, but all they ever say is, you have really good water if you have snails.
Snails are a good sign.
Oh, are they?
They're good, you have a good system, but when they die, it wrecks your system.
Okay.
So,
Double.
Well, let's just figure out a way to keep them alive.
well, they won't, they just die and they float and they
Sure.
wreck everything. So I'm trying to catch them as their death is happening,
Oh.
get rid of them. But all winter, it was the big garbage cans, I netted them all every day. And that is the big Thompson garbage can, full of snails.
Wow.
So otherwise that goes through your system and it plugs up every single pipe that I have.
How do you get rid of them once you've got them, as far as disposing of them?
Well, I have to put them,
Can
I
they
have
be
to net them.
Can they be composted then?
I don't know if, they are high in ammonia once they're crushed, the shells, so I don't know.
Before they die, fly escargot.
Yeah, they're about this big, and there was a study on them, I found that one too, but to get rid of them, you're always gonna have them, and if you go to get rid of them with a chemical, you wreck everything. You don't want that.
Makes sense.
So if we have to live with them, we might as well catch them and throw them in the garbage.
Makes sense.
It's more work, but I'd rather net them and catch them there than be trying to net them as they're going anywhere else.
Can you spread them out on the fields like you do the other stuff?
It's in the biosolids.
Oh, it is.
It ends up in the digester, but a lot of them are just, once they go through a pipe, the pipe's only like this, they'll try to go through and then the snails are compacted with the
Tight.
biosolids and it just, you can sit there with a sprayer all day long trying to open a pipe.
And they have shells, right?
Yep,
And that's what
They're
scrapes-
about
That's what
this
scrapes the
big.
things?
there's hot.
That's what scrapes and wears pipes and valves and all that stuff.
Well, nothing can get through it, so nothing can get through the pipe, so it just sits there.
Okay.
So, but I am working on that, if that's all right, the guy comes out and looks, Eric said he uses Waldorf Welding a lot, so
The guy's really good.
that's what I hear, so, and all I need's a basket, basically, to catch them. So I don't think it'd be that much, but it'll save you guys on a lot of money
Mhm.
On piping and valving and everything else,
Permission.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, get it done.
So otherwise, yeah, that's my biggest stuff is
Do
that.
you have a mini split out there?
What was that?
Do you have a mini split out there? Air conditioner, or was that here?
Oh, yeah, the air conditioner, yeah, the one up on the
Yeah.
thing.
You must have had Jim and dudes out there to fix it. I was just curious.
Yes, it was like 110 in there. Yeah. I just.
So was it
stay
a little
outside.
on Freon or what?
Yes, and I think it's on its last legs.
Weird. Just
But
like
we're
everything
just,
else out
I'm
there.
just trying to get it by through another year, but
Okay.
I just would rather go outside than sit in there. But it
Yeah.
is hard on electronics if you
Yeah.
don't keep it cool, so.
Mhm.
The boiler is not on, so that's not making the extra heat
Right.
like it used to. But yeah, you are right on that. It is on its last.
It costs us $10,000 for this grease removal out on 13.
Mhm.
Is there any way we can recoup any of that money?
Can't guarantee that it came from a certain location. So, but steps have been taken between People Service and myself to monitor and figure out where that's coming from. And it will be taken care of, should
Okay.
that continue to be a problem. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, even Empire, who even cleaned it, said there's no way that we can say that that's where it came from, that's where it came from. He said there's multiple locations that could have been coming from, there's no way to narrow it down.
Could you televise back through the service line?
All the service lines were junk.
We
I
can't,
mean-
we can't make it up a service line.
Not with their
They can't.
stuff.
Yeah, it just,
Can't you come from the business and the service line to the main?
If they would let you. The thing is that when they looked at the service lines coming through as they were cleaning, the service lines for those 3 or 4 places that are there all look the same on the end. So it's coming from multiple locations. There was some gravel and grit too that we figured was coming from the car wash. So, I mean, Shell and I,
Abundance.
we're monitoring it.
Okay.
it's an abundance
Yeah.
of things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is there things in place for them to try to improve so that doesn't keep going down?
Not at the moment, but that's why Shell and I have been monitoring and making sure that we have the appropriate recommendations for the council. Because, yeah, we can't do that on a regular basis.
No, we can't keep spending $10,000.
No, I think we replaced the line in the ditch.
That
It's
is
just-
new, yeah.
It's just the
And
service line.
the reason it cost more is because they could not offload the product in Rochester. So Rochester couldn't get it off the trucks, and then they had to take it up to West St. Paul, I think, or something to get rid of it, because that's the only other place that would take it. So there was quite a bit extra charge for
Drag
drive
time.
time.
Yeah.
and disposal. So, yeah, we're monitoring it.
All right, perfect.
Any other questions?
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Lauren and a second by Jason to approve.
Thank you.
People Services report.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna take my graph.
Yeah.
All in
Michelle.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, I gotta go, guys. Let's stay, but I
No,
gotta
go.
No, you can
See ya.
go.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you
Shell.
later.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, Shell.
Oh, wait. Can I keep this? Thank you. Appreciate that.
Street Department report.
Eric wasn't able to come tonight, so, just some quick notes. We had the bathroom was vandalized again. I can't remember which one it was now off the top of my head.
I think it was the lake.
Yeah.
No, I just can't remember which side it was.
Oh,
Oh,
And we haven't been able to go through all the video yet to try to figure out where that is. But that's all been fixed and taken care of. Fixed broken water line. St. Olaf Lake's all started up. Water's all good, ready to go. They painted the pavilion park, the pavilion at City Park. They did their annual health lead and copper sampling. They have to pick 10 random houses around there, Richland, and send that in for testing. Bargains finished. I think the site Balsam, is it Balsam one they just did?
Yep.
Mhm.
they did.
Finished that. Future projects getting ready. WW for our road projects, obviously Farm City Days, and then as Chad said, catch basins on First Street Northwest. So I don't know if Eric talked to you, but they're right where the end of the road is, right before it gets to the Care Center driveway. On both sides of the road, there'll be a catch basin that'll take that water and go into, there's a tile along the ball diamond.
Yeah,
down to the
it'll
creek.
go that way. So that dip where you have all those divots in the road, that should solve that problem. So that's what that.
It's northeast.
And then.
Northeast, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then Diane will be coming into service there anyway. Well. And then we're still looking into the possibility of having Pearson's do their stuff too. I'm just waiting for some information from that.
Was that list of things that were prioritized to be done?
Pearson's is chip seal.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's all you got.
See, Tony, I'm on the HUD board, but the executive director sent me a couple questions about the catch basin and what's going on. Is it appropriate to ask you now since it's the street report, or you want me to do it at the end? Okay. I apologize for reading this, but they're long questions, so. Anyway, she says, I asked the city if they could locate the tile to the Legion Field in a ditch that the homeowners on Aspen North are connected to. I've never gotten an answer. If the city would allow it, this would be the most economical way for Royalville to fix the standing water problem at the north end of our parking lot, which we've talked about a bunch of times.
Yeah.
The other option is to go right down the middle of the parking lot. And if and only if there would be a catch basin to connect to. It seems like the tile would be the best and much more inexpensive route to take for us. So
Yeah,
I
we're
just,
still trying to locate all the documentation
Okay.
on that tile. Cause nothing's digitalized.
okay,
So I gotta do some digging.
yeah,
But I think that's the one that's that Legion Field tile that like Budox and the field
Yeah.
are hooked into.
okay.
Yeah, so we'll keep working on that, but hopefully that drainage catch basin should help with the majority of that, especially if you're redoing the parking lot, if you get some slope
Out,
back towards
going
the
south, yeah. Then the next question was, will the catch basin work on First Street Northeast have anything to do with the catch basin that is here, but not on the map or working?
That'll be gone.
Will be gone,
The new one will be in the place that actually does something.
okay. Okay,
From
she
what
has
I-
two other
from what I
questions, but
understand,
I'll save those for the end. They don't have to do anything with water.
All right.
Move to approve the street maintenance report.
Second.
Have a motion by Lauren and a second by Janda to approve the street maintenance department report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. St. Olaf Lake.
All right, just a quick little update. We're on our second week of the first set of lessons. Everything's going great. Concession stand is open and functioning. Sergio and I were hoping that it was gonna go off crazy since we haven't had a concession stand out there for a while, but so our initial plan was to open the concession stand Tuesdays through Saturdays, noon to 8. After last week, it just doesn't make sense. So starting this week and going forward, unless something changes, our plan is to run lifeguards and concessions noon to 6, Tuesday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday will be noon to 8. And that seems to work. We are pushing sales through there. It's good. So everything's looking good at the moment.
Great.
Nice thing about having lifeguards out there too is they keep everything clean and keep an eye on the bathrooms. They don't get vandalized. Just enough.
Yeah, but most of your vandalism happens at night anyway, doesn't it?
Yep.
So my question to you is, should we lock them bathrooms up after the lifeguards? Because there is a porta potty there.
Yeah, I guess it would be up to the council. The only concern is if you do that, then when people rent things on the weekend, that's part of the whole thing is that they have those bathrooms
Oh,
there.
we just have
And
to
then we
make
got-
sure they're unlocked when they're rented.
Right,
out.
but then that means either me or Sarah go out there on the weekends to take care of it, because otherwise we don't really have an option.
What if we had a key like at a gas station, and when they
It's-
rent the place, you give them a key for the week?
We have to rekey stuff out there. It'd be pretty expensive.
I think,
I mean, I haven't been able to, we haven't been able to look through the video yet, but I mean, we had perfect video and got restitution the last
Yeah.
time that it happened, so I'm hopeful that that's there.
Well, I just think if it keeps getting vandalized, we gotta
Yeah,
pay for
we
it,
did
might as well
finally-
lock it up.
yeah,
We did finally post a bunch of signs out there saying that it's under surveillance, you're on camera. Hopefully that'll help deter some of that,
Mhm.
that conduct, so.
well, that is if the criminals can read, because that might be a problem.
Possibly.
Alright, we'll move down to new business. Employee insurance 2024 discussion.
All right, so I met with, insurance broker last week. And, there is a potential for us to look into some other insurance policies that could potentially get us down from $1,200 a month as we're paying for employees down to maybe $600-700 a month instead. In order to do that and look into that, I need the council to approve me sending the cooperative a letter saying that we may or may not be interested in going with them for insurance this year. We have to notify them like 136 days or something prior to the contract coming up. So it would just basically give me and Bob the ability to work together and see if we can come up with an alternate solution to make our healthcare a lot cheaper. I mean, I talked to Clinton over in Janesville and they're paying half of what we're paying per employee as we are.
For the same coverage?
Yes, almost
Really?
identical coverage, but they're not with Co-op anymore. They switched and went out. And so we've been talking.
You gotta shop around.
We've been talking this individualized, it's called ICRA. I don't remember what the ICRA stands for. But long story short, it's a different policy. So like right now, the insurance that we carry for our city employees, it doesn't matter if you're 84 or 15 or 26. The policy costs the same no matter what. If we switch over to this, then it's gonna be age-based, but we're talking like if you're on the 20 to 25 scale, we're talking $400. We're talking like $800-900 on the high end. So ultimately, we're gonna save a lot more money. If the care center and us can work together and bridge that gap, I mean, we can. So I'd like to do that, and I just need the motion to allow me to send that letter to South Central Services Cooperative.
Do those prices involve anything to do with the employee themselves? They don't pay nothing at all? I mean, as far as what we're talking about
The
here.
city policy for us
Mhm.
is that the individual employee, that we pay their healthcare coverage.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And as far as the care center goes, the employee pays a percentage of their
Bills.
rate premium,
Okay.
but we pay the majority of it. So if we could reduce that cost, that would make us a whole
Oh, sure.
more financially.
Absolutely.
All for that.
I'll make
So
a
move.
motion-
Okay, go ahead. Joe.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and plan the Tony is forward.
Second.
Have a motion by Jason and a second by Lauren to explore employee insurance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? EDA grant bonus.
I gave you a little list or a thing in front of you there, the EDA, we need today authorized payment of a grant for Golan's to put a fence on the backside of their property in between them and the laundromat. The grant amount that's been requested is $1,175. The EDA did approve that. It's up to you if you so choose to do that.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
A motion by Lauren and a second by Jason to approve the EDA grant of $1,175 to Bolins for a fence. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda item 1 and 2.
Okay, on the minutes, Sarah neglected to include herself as staff president. We had
Oh.
Tony listed there. Because if you look at the second or third page, she says submitted by Sarah Jo Vulcan, assistant.
Yeah, that's probably just a clerical error.
Right, that's all. That's the only thing I saw in that. I just,
Okay,
You
well,
know,
yeah, so if you just wanna make a motion to accept the minutes, amending that staff.
yeah,
president, I
that's
can-
the only thing I saw that was out of whack. Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
A motion by Jody and a second by Jason to accept the minutes with the correction. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And with the check register, moving on, I'm not gonna complain about the pizza or the donuts this time, but there's a charge for $100 for a memorial block for across the street. What was that about?
So if somebody pays with a credit card, we have to take that and then we have to cut a check from the memorial thing for $100. It's just a wash through. Like,
Oh,
They swipe the check, comes into our account, we give them a check for the memorial. So that's all that is.
okay, yeah, it's funny, they just couldn't just write a check directly to them.
Yeah. Most of the time when that happens, it's somebody who's calling from not local to do that.
Oh,
I see. Well, don't they have a postal service? Anyway, all right. I didn't know what it was for. I just.
Yep.
You clarified that. That's really the only question I had on that.
Okay. Then we need a motion for that.
Yep. I'll move to approve the check register as presented.
I'll second it.
A motion by Jody and a second by Jason for the, accept the check register. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Move on to the administrator's report.
All right, map insurance providers, concession stand procedures, training and setup. Communicate with city attorney regarding the street vacation process and EDA items. Just a note on that, we had sold an EDA lot, the very northwestern corner lot, like many, many years ago. And the city attorney sent her a letter saying she needed to bill within 30 days or turn over the deed, and she called him and said she's turning back the deed. So she's gonna make sure everything's paid up and pay the deed to transfer it back to us. We'll get that property back and we can use that on our TIF district stuff. Did have 2 police officer interviews, hopeful on that end. We received our county tax payment for the first half of the year. You'll see that on next month's financials. It was $300 and some thousand, so that's nice to put in there. People's Service president was here, Chad Meyer, talked with him for just a little while, and then talking about Houston. Just finally got some emails going with the guys, so I'm hoping that that comes to fruition sooner than later.
Is this email, telephone, or in person?
Well, it will be in person, but we're just beginning the conversation, so I got the email on it before I left for vacation. I just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. Council pay will be Friday, just so you guys are aware.
Yahoo! Or some fireworks.
One final thing that I just forgot about that I would like to talk about is the bank is getting tuck pointing done on their building, and they would like to do the library at the same time so that we don't have to pay him twice to come and take care of that. So
What's that cost on
it was $8,900 for both buildings.
that? I was gonna say something,
Yeah.
4,000.
And I don't remember exactly,
Yeah.
so we did put
That's been a while.
we did put 10,000 aside for library repairs and capital this year, so we have the money to do it. So I think that if you would be willing to approve up to $6,000, I think that would be well above what we need to take care of it, but that way he can work on it tomorrow and the next day, and then we don't have to have him come back again. So if you wanna do that, that would be great.
See, Tony, since that's a historical building, right?
Yep.
Does this guy have to be registered with the State Historical Society?
I
So
don't-
it's an approved?
I don't
repair?
think so. I think the only
Okay.
requirement is that they replace it to what it was.
The original?
Yeah.
Okay,
As
all right.
close to original as possible.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we, trying to think of the words.
Approve up to 6.
Put up to $6,000 for that tuck pointing.
Second.
Have a motion by Jason and a second by Lauren to approve up to $6,000 for tuck pointing on the city library. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass.
And then this is kind of weird, but apparently we didn't hire many people or have many birthdays. I think this is the first report I haven't had.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was a mistake when I saw, I go,
No,
look, nobody
I
here?
looked like 4 different times, so next year this time we will, because all the lifeguards will come back through, so that won't happen. But, yeah, the lake is going very well. Very happy with the way things are going, so.
Did we get a load of sand out there for the beach? Were they gonna do that?
I don't know if they got a little sand. I know that Eric tilled stuff up. And,
Oh, okay, maybe that's what he was gonna do. I thought we
Yeah.
ordered sand.
I thought he was gonna have some sand too.
Yeah, he may have. It might happen last week when I was gone.
Yeah.
So, but everything looks good out there, and the girls are doing an amazing job getting the seaweed and stuff and cleaning that
Bad
up.
Okay.
this year.
It's awful this year. And I do have an email into Waterville Fisheries. We actually we have a church group coming to use the lake. I think it might be this weekend. Are they affiliated with that? Or it must be a different group. But they were gonna do a whole bunch of fishing activities, had Cabela's coming in and stuff. But
Oh,
they
cool.
can't even hardly fish off the dock because of how bad the weeds are. So
Oh,
I have an email into the Waterville Fisheries because at one time they were talking about getting harvesting the
year.
weeds, right?
Next
So,
year.
is for sure. Anyway, so I'm hoping to get an update from him on what's happening, because I know that they had a little bit of a fish kill at the beginning of the year. There too many apparently sunfish in the lake, so they had to haul a bunch out.
is that when they come with a machine then and like harvest it
Must have
or?
just sucked them out basically with like a bag.
Okay.
So, but it's awful. I mean, usually you could pull right up to like the lily pads and fish right on the edge there, and the weeds are probably out another 100 yards.
They're
So
terrible.
100
this year.
yards?
It's awful. It's awful.
You can't
I'll
do
see
that.
if it
Well,
has the
what
same
about
problem.
that,
Yeah, but they usually harvest it.
Clear Lake
They got
has that machine?
That's the county's machine.
So
Yeah, this
Well,
year,
DNR
this year,
only allows you to do
DNR's
so
gotta
much.
bless everything before.
Yeah.
so this year they're doing Reed's Lake, and next year, according to Doug, is St. Olaf Lake.
So hopefully, they need to do something that's been getting progressively worse, and
Mhm.
it's not nice out there, so. But that's all I have.
Move to approve the administrator's report.
Second that.
Have a motion by Lauren and a second by Jason to approve the city administrator's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, pass.
Learning something else.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Two more things. Have you heard anything about the removal of a grant from Matt Harrington and the, I don't know if the bank's working on it or who's working on it, about the city could write a grant to pay for or partially pay for the removal of ash trees. And the reason she's asking is that there's 2 more trees in front of Royal Villa that need to be removed that are diseased.
Matt's not aware of any other trees in town that we would really need to address with that grant, so it really doesn't make a lot of sense for us to do that.
Okay, so there's not any other boulevards?
Matt's not working on anything and hasn't
Okay.
identified anything.
I don't know who she had come over.
Gordy.
Yeah, Gordy came over and looked at them and said, they're diseased, they should come down. So, okay. And then the other one is, she still has a concern about police not being able to get into the building when there's a 911 call.
Update.
They had a call a couple weeks ago, and the Waseca County responded, Josh from Waseca County, and he was able to get in because the ambulance was going out, but otherwise they can't get
So
the box or the key or something, I don't know.
they need
Did
to,
she, I thought she gave the police department a key for the door, right?
we might have to put a lockbox.
Tell her that I will touch base with her tomorrow
Okay,
and figure it out, because that's why I always wanted those keys in that Knox box.
Yeah,
Because
right.
if they're in there, then anybody can.
then everybody has it.
Right, but I think she gave the police department 2 keys just for the door.
Oh,
So it's
yeah,
very possible the sheriff's office doesn't have one. And
yeah,
that's probably the problem. So Denise and I will touch base with Gail
yeah.
and figure it out.
Well, the only reason she's concerned, she says, because like the one that just happened was the 4th time now.
Okay.
And just in case it's a real emergency, if someone's threatening someone with a weapon or something, the police or sheriff's department need to be able to get in, hopefully to prevent something bad from happening.
I'll talk to Denise tomorrow and I'll reach out to Gail tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Have a motion by Lauren and a second by Janda to adjourn. All in
You
favor,
beat me
say
to
aye.
Aye.
Hi.